Mata and Jason present as a typical interracial, intercultural couple about to get married, experiencing unique issues that interracial or intercultural couples deal with, particularly the ongoing doubt from families about the stability of their relationship. As such, the couple feels added pressure to make their relationship work because of the high level of scrutiny it undergoes from both families of origin. They present for premarital therapy to address the issue of their family's reservation about their upcoming union. As a Chinese, Spanish, Filipino married to an Italian, Brazilian American, I'm also a part of this group and can very well resonate with Mata and Jason. My first step would be to become aware of my own experiences as an interracial couple and be careful of my own biases and assumptions or impose what I had experienced onto the couple. To be culturally sensitive, I should be self-aware regarding my own cultural background and educate myself on the many aspects of the couple's backgrounds. It is imperative at the outset to validate the couple's behaviors and normalize their apprehension. I would also employ Rogerian core counseling values of empathy, non-judgmental attitude, and unconditional positive regard so they would feel safe in sharing their experiences with me. Reframing their challenges from this perspective and an interracial context would help them feel closer and more compassionate towards each other. I like the idea looking at the couple's problems through a narrative and solution-focused lens. The underlying assumption that culture shapes people's assumptions and interpretations of their partner's behaviors fits with many of the problems or concerns presented by the couple. Through a solution-focused lens, I would seek to first find allies that can support the couple's growth and adjustment, remove constraints such as internalized oppression or self-policing as experienced by the couple by focusing on their strengths and listen to the couple's therapeutic goals and objectives and define these in terms that make them achievable. I will conduct a thorough assessment and formulate a strengths-based treatment plan. In doing so, I may avoid the pitfall of assuming that all discord is culturally driven or seeing patterns based on stereotypes. Clarifying each partner's cultural values early on in the therapeutic process may prove beneficial. Moreover, understanding and evaluating each partner's attitudes regarding emotional expressiveness, involvement of extended family, gender roles, language, and religion will be helpful in determining a therapeutic plan for the two of them. I would administer cultural assumptions and belief inventory, which can help me detect differences in cultural assumptions and beliefs that may underlie divergent cultures and points of view in the couple's life. Results that were reflected in the assessment shared closeness to their families with their families of origins. Mata's experiences of prejudice both as a U.S. immigrant and as a Kurdish ancestry on one side of her family. Both reflected similar views about gender roles as Jason was the progressive member of his family and Mata's family strongly supported educational and professional aspirations of all members of the family, regardless of sex. Finally, of course, Jason, coming from an individualistic culture, leaned towards individualism than Mata, who comes from a collectivistic culture. I would begin a conversation about similarities and differences in their responses. I would also administer the Index of Cultural Inclusion. This tool can help me quickly map out whether Matt and Jason feel positive or have mixed feelings about their cultural selves, or whether they feel that their cultural histories and values are valued in the relationship, and how much each is aware of their own history and familiar and cultural history. This also would tell me whether, as a couple, they see values as resources in their relationship or whether they want to start from scratch. It was noted that both partners exhibited strong positive sense of identity and a strong valuing of each other's cultural histories, traditions, and contributions to the relationship. This boded well for inclusion and indicated the couple's potential for striking a balance between their respective legacies. In the earlier sessions, I would ask Matt and Jason to describe how they met and to tell their story of their life together. Would carefully ask Matt and Jason how they define their relationship rather than taking the chance of inadvertently disparaging them. I would avoid to focus on cultural stereotypes and focus on family influence so that I don't overlook subtle cultural implications. On the other hand, I can act as a liaison and model between the partners by promoting an environment of curiosity Mahta discussed her conscious decision to marry a non-Persian and what her prospective parents-in-law referred to as mixed children. Mahta also expressed her wishes of creating a place with Jason and their future children where oppression and violence would be absent. Jason's statement reflected his view about Mahta being exceptionally smart and exotic due to her cultural identity and feels lucky to be with her. I would also note that intercultural marriages are as dynamic and complex as any other marriage. Focusing on differences alone creates a false narrative that does not take into account aspects of their intercultural relationship. As a clinician, the challenge, therefore, is to approach the issues of race and culture sensitively. I would neither insist that these issues be a central focus nor dismiss them as unimportant. I would inform them of the positive aspects and benefits of interracial marriage and make them understand that interracial couples enter therapy for reasons similar to homogeneous couples. To encourage emotional support and appreciation, I see the value in exploring how a desire for the other is expressed, and this is critical terrain, whether these longings are fulfilled. Following up on Jason's use of the terms smart and exotic, for example, in the earlier session, a therapist asked Mahta about her reaction to Jason's description. She expressed slight embarrassment about those adjectives, but knew he meant well by them, but worries about being seen as an opportunistic foreigner looking for a green card by his folks. At this point, it would be perfect timing to ask how partners acknowledge each other's feelings around issues of discrimination, or what they would lose if they lost each other. Seshadri and Knudsen Martin recommend helping clients discover relational strengths that are honoring of each other's culture, as well as to create a sense of we that focuses on friendship, integration, and inclusion. I may likewise determine the soundness of Mahta and Jason's underlying friendship and then help them to hone that and to help the couple pay special attention to their similarities. I can ask them what they find attractive about the other partner's cultural identity as well. To address their seemingly lacking support, I will also assess for allies who would be supportive of the couple and their adjustment. It may be necessary to invite their families into therapy, as both families hold strongly to their traditions and cultural values. Psychoeducation on interracial marriages may help them reframe their current perspectives and understand the need to be flexible and blend their cultures to help support the couple. Instead of focusing on their racial and cultural differences, it may help to guide their focus on the strengths of the relationship instead. Apparently, strengths of multiracial couples include cultural sensitivity, and empathy, tolerance for differences, and for ambiguity. I may initiate a conversation about resilience as well as encourage collaboration, support, and nurturance, recognizing that Mahta may need to express the emotional toll that oppression has taken on her. If I notice unrecognized power differential within the couple, the topic of differing levels of racial privilege or gender biases may need to be addressed. Results of this assessment did not show any of this, though. Overall, therapy ought to be a safe place to explore cultural influences on a couple's behaviors, values, and interpretations without judgment, and marked by an attitude of curiosity, openness, collaboration, inclusiveness, and acceptance. Intervention should be aimed at encouraging the couple to identify relational strengths and ways in which each partner's life has been enriched by the cultural background of the other, what they like about each other, and to develop a shared identity that transcends cultural differences. In light of their positive cultural identities, in the following sessions, I would explore how the couple would increase participation in the traditional observances in the coming weeks. Jason expressed enthusiasm and planned to be a part of Mahta's family's annual events, as well to take the opportunity for thorough spring cleaning of the apartment that he was preparing for the two of them. I would encourage the couple to incorporate meaningful rituals from both partners' traditions into the wedding ceremony, focusing on how they could be a fusion of Christian Muslim and North American Persian. This would help continue past generations of cultural identities which can be included in their present and future together. In addition to my goal to look for allies for the couple, I would also include exploring opportunities for the families to get together and get to know each other better in terms of clearing the air or reconciling any unfinished business that could interfere with their union. Finally, I would address looking to the future and of child rearing, bringing into focus the differences in partners' backgrounds and how that would look like, and noting that accommodations might require revisiting later. And as with most solution-focused therapeutic style, therapy would be concluded when the couple's objectives had been achieved, but would be welcome to return for a follow-up appointment anytime.